You also voiced your questions regarding the use of internet resources in your classrooms. And so you asked about issues related to the age of your students, most valuable, favorite, or most useful internet resources. You asked about your colleagues' plan to use internet resources next year, how to teach about online research, and also negative experiences. And so we have discussed the different types of resources that come from the internet in previous sessions. When we talk about instructional technology, so much nowadays is happening on the internet that I'm really not going to go into different types of resources this time, but I want to focus more on the information literacy, information evaluation strategies, and how to teach that, and how to teach it even to students who are very young. So, for example, the Common Sense Media website has all sorts of information that we saw before that were useful for privacy and security and cyberbullying, but also they talk about information literacy. So, for example, for kids K to 2, they have ideas and activities for searching, also for understanding about having ownership over creative work. And this is one of the precursors of being able to understand that websites are created by people and that we need to understand whether these are qualified people to be talking about what they're talking about. And also, for example, using keywords. Besides that, there's also ideas about how teaching students about things for sale when it comes to websites. And these are things that young kids can relate to because since a very early age they are seeing that those transactions between their parents and store owners, for example, where they go to buy something, and so they need to understand whether what they're seeing on a website somebody's trying to sell them something, or whether it's just information that they can use. So these are very basic ideas. You certainly, as you've mentioned, you're not going to leave them alone using the internet because they wouldn't know where to start, and also because of all the materials that would be inappropriate for them that they may find. But there are some simple ideas that you can start developing at a very early age. The Kentucky Virtual Library website also has an activity for understanding how to do research, and one portion of it is dedicated to the use of information, and so understanding whether the information is trustworthy, whether you can understand what you're going to read, talking about comparing and contrasting different resources to be able to determine whether one source is really accurate or they are just out of the blue saying things that are not right. And so this is a type of game that you can use with your students to learn about the entire process of how to do research. Kathy Schrox also has a website on information literacy resources, including the 5 W's of website evaluation that you can teach your students. So who created the pages? What do they say is the purpose? When was the site created? Where is the information coming from? And why do you want to use that information for your purpose? Media Smart is Canada's institution. They have a game entitled The Second Adventure of the Three Cyber Pigs. The first game of the Cyber Pigs has to do with privacy and protection. This second one includes a couple of topics, but one of them is information literacy, so how to evaluate information. And so when you're searching for these kinds of resources, you may use a variety of different labels. For example, media literacy, information fluency, digital literacy, online literacy, web literacy, or internet literacy. And the amount of resources that are available out there, as you know, is very overwhelming to try to digest in just one session. I would rather recommend that when you're ready to work with your students on information literacy, that you go and find resources that are appropriate for your students, you evaluate them, and you do the search using some of these terms. So here's wishing you good luck in searching for, evaluating, and using information taken from internet resources with your students.